Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Archimedes-II mod, which is being made by user Nero. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is a truly impressive new weapon that allows you to harness the destructive power of the sun, and that of course is the Archimedes-II, and I have been having an insane amount of fun with this truly unique weapon for Fallout 4. So let's take a look at what we do get here, and you're gonna notice it's kind of an oddity, as normally, well, I have multiple versions of the gun typically in these videos to show off, you know, all the different modifications. But the very unique part about this gun is it's actually several guns in one. We have this particular version, the Call Down, which functions just like the Archimedes weapon from Fallout New Vegas, where you point at a area in front of you, wait, and a satellite in orbit will shoot down lasery solar death on your enemies. It's pretty fun. I mean, come on, who doesn't miss having that wonderful, wonderful power from New Vegas? And thus why it doesn't have stats over here for ammunition and damage numbers, etc., because basically it's just gonna nuke everything, and it's beautiful. But if we unequip it and then equip it again, we get a mode select menu where we can change it up to the flare charge, which it's now a gun that will do 250 energy damage using a new solar core ammunition type with a firing rate of 66, range of 227, accuracy of 80, and a weight of 4. And basically it works like the in-game Gauss rifle, where you can either just click to shoot or hold down to charge up a more powerful shot. And it will, you know, ignite your enemies with solar energy from this solar core battery, and it is pretty cool. Then, of course, if we unequip it again and equip it once more, we have the Dissipator mode, which now it does a lot less damage at 45, and the solar core, as you can see, is calculating the amount differently. Basically, in the previous mode, it'll use one solar core effectively per shot. This one, it kind of extends the solar core as if it was a big battery, as this thing, it basically is shooting a constant stream of laser beams. And it's beautiful. Doing 45 damage, firing rate of 136, range of 95, accuracy of 80, and a weight of 4. And it's just fun. It is super fun just mowing down everything with solar lasers. It's cool. And then we have a final mode here, which is the Orbital Safety Override. Now this functions exactly the same as the Orbital Designator, as in that you call down lasery death from space, but in the Override, it will use up a solar core per shot, and it'll do it immediately without the 24-hour cooldown that you get with the Designator. It's kind of a cheaty, just have fun mode, but you can only use it if you have 4 perk points in Hacker and 3 in Nuclear Physicist. So it's a very much an end-game weapon just to screw around with. And that's wonderful. Now, as for how you get your hands on one of these things, well, it's actually pretty simple. You just go to the chemistry station and down to the Archimedes-II section here, where we can create these solar cores by taking a fusion core and converting it into a solar core. And then we have the Archimedes-II Finder, which is made simply with circuitry, crystal, nuclear materials, screws, and steel. And of course, rank 1 in science. And that will give you the Archimedes-II. Now, the reason I do only have one in my inventory, oh god, the one that I had planned right there fell. There we go, let's pick it up. If you have more than one of these in your inventory, they don't work. You can actually still pull it out and shoot it, but you can't change firing modes. Even if you have 3 different Archimedes in here, each with a different fire mode, you cannot basically equip and unequip to change it. Again, you can still pull it out and use it, but you won't be able to change the firing mode with multiples in your inventory. So let's actually, oh no, back in there, drop one of those, Bye-bye. And then go over to the weapon workbench to have a gander at the modifications we do have for this. Now, if we go in here, the first is the mode category, and in here you can actually change the mode just like you could by unequipping and equipping, except this time you're just taking the mod part out. And we have the dissipators here, the flare charge here, and the orbital designator here. Now you'll notice there are 4 different tiers of the flare charge and the dissipator, and it'll always start, every time I've created one at the chemistry station, it starts with tier 4 pre-installed, which does the most damage. But you can actually, if you find it's a bit too OP, you can scale it back down to a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, etc. to do less damage, as well as some less range or potential accuracy, etc. And yeah, so you do have that option. And then of course, with the orbital designator, it's just so powerful, it has 1, except for the safety override, which, like I said, rank 4 in hacker for this, and 3 in nuclear physicist. Now, next we have is the grip, where we can either have the default grip, which I really like, a light version, or a short version to basically turn this thing into a pistol, just whichever you care to go with. We then can also change the perk. Now, whether you're using the dissipator or the flare charge, they will be affected by the perks. And so right now, it's Rifleman, but you can change it to Heavy Gun, Gunslinger, or Commando. And yeah, it's quite interesting to be able to switch that different perk calculation here in the mod itself. It's kind of cool. Now the next is sights, where we have either nothing, a reflex sight, a digital 3x scope, or a digital 6x. Now I'm actually going to pop a reflex sight onto this thing, because, well, we'll need that in a little bit for better aiming. We can then change the target timing. Now this is specifically for the orbital designator, as when you go to designate a target, by default with this gun, you'll have to hold the trigger down for 7 seconds before the satellite fires. But you can lower that to 5, 4, or even 3 seconds, depending on, of course, if you have the crystal, which apparently I don't, and of course circuitry, fiber optics, and nuclear materials. And so it's kind of nice. I don't mind the 7 seconds, I've just been leaving it at that, but if you do want a much shorter time, there you go, you can go with the 3. We then have the barrel extension, where we have either none, a heatsink, or a 2-phase barrel. Now, the none and the 2-phase don't seem to do anything. The heatsink, well, this happens automatically. As you can see here, it's required for the dissipator, and so it will auto-equip when you go into the dissipator mode. So honestly, I don't really see much of a point in this category, but hey, it's here for you to do things with. Then we have the cooldown, which of course is again for that orbital strike, where it's by default at 24 hours, so 72 minutes at default timescale, but you can lower it to 12, 6, 3 hours, and 10 in-game minutes. So about, as you can see here, 40 seconds in real time. And that's pretty cool, so you can adjust that as well. And then finally, we have skins, so you can go and, you know, customize this to be a bit more your style. So we have the default, an institute, a Santa's Little Helper, teal, army, black, or no, green, black, green, there we go, black, yellow, then, now that I actually see that there were 2 colors in that name, blue, camo, enclave, green, gray, orange, white, tan, and finally white. So whichever you prefer there. I kind of like the Institute one, honestly, so what the heck, let's put that skin on. And yeah, those are the different modifications that we have for this beautifully unique weapon. So let us X out of here and take a look at this in the world and take some shots. Now let's actually start with, you know what, the dissipator. We'll start with the dissipator, the full auto mode, and now with our nice reflex sight, we can aim more easily, because otherwise there really isn't a sight on this thing. It's kind of weird, and just fire. I'll hold down the trigger. And as you can see, it's just basically a constant beam, which is doing a lovely amount of burning damage everywhere. And what I really like about it is that solar core, as you can see, does start to glow the longer you fire it. You release, it stops glowing. Just a very, very cool effect. Very nice indeed. Now, of course, when we do go next to the flare charge mode, let's pop that baby out. And this one is, well, I gotta reload first there. It started without any ammo. Pop that in, and fire, fire, fire. Or, of course, hold down the trigger, charging it up, letting that solar core charge up more and more, and release. And again, I do like that core just starting to glow as you charge, and then fire. There we go. As you can see, not a huge amount of shots per solar core of this, but you know what? It's still good. And as you can see, if we do shoot and move, it is kind of still a bit of a beam, but it's in a much quicker, concentrated burst, which is fun. I like it. And of course, it is meant to be a just click and fire weapon. Now, lastly, we have the Orbital Designator. Well, technically, the last one would be the Orbital Safety Override, but it'll do the same thing as the Orbital Designator, but this one will have the cooldown. Now, you'll notice we lost the barrel and the solar core on the side of it, but now what we get is, if we click on the ground, you can see... Oh, thank God the Designator lost. You can see a little point on the ground that is trying to get the target location. Now, so long as I don't hold the trigger for 7 seconds... Oh God, it's firing! Oh, I held it too long! There you go. That happens. That happens. And now we have 24 hours until it will fire again, and if I do try and fire, you can see it updates you with the time as to how long it has left. Now, of course, like I said, we don't have to wait for that cooldown with the Orbital Safety Override mode, where basically it is going to use those solar cores for the shots. So I've got 202 of these cooldowns I can do, and just click, and there it goes. Boom. Oh yeah. And we can immediately fire again over there, over there, over there. And it's beautiful. God, I love the amount of destruction you can unleash with this. Now, granted, it takes a lot of these solar cores. I cheated in 200 of them, which would have taken you 200 fusion cores to make on your own at the chemistry station, so that is kind of a limiting factor, but still, it's pretty good. Now, let's, of course, go over to Randy and Will, and, show them the joy of our new weapons. Now, we'll take out Will here with the dissipator mode. And hold on, I am on that run mode, right? Or charge mode, rather. Let's just line up the shot. Get a good... Oh, reload ammo. Of course, of course, of course. And then charge it up. Wait for it. Wait for it. And fire! Oh! He was annihilated. And even though I do want to use the beam on Randy the Radstag over there... Oh yeah, it's got to be Orbital Safety Override. I mean, come on. Is there... It has to be done. It has to be done. I am so sorry, Randy, but... It's hilarious. So, fire. No, and of course again. Reload. Reload. Beautiful. And fire. Randy's targeted. Take him down. Oh my God, he actually was able to run away in time. Wow, I'll be darned. Huh, I wasn't expecting that. I actually hadn't tested it on Randy yet, and he apparently could sense the incoming thing. Yeah, Stingwing over there. Well, let's kill it with a couple. And... yeah, it's gone. It's gone. Man, oh, well, there he is over there. Let's just take him out again. Get a couple of shots around him. There we go. Now he's gonna be done for. Ooh, there he is. Oh God, I love this mode. Oh boy, he is scorched. I am so sorry, Randy. It's actually a little bit interesting, but yes, I love this weapon. It's so interesting, so unique, and you know, having back that glorious Archimedes power from Fallout New Vegas, and now the ability to kind of cheat with it and just explode them anywhere is awesome. So yes, if you would like to check out this mod for yourself, which I would definitely recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description as per usual. But that, my friends, is going to be it for this episode today. I hope you all have enjoyed and that you do come back for the next episode when hopefully we will be looking at yet another wonderful mod. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one!